Okay, so next lesson is going to be figure of 8 and the slalom. Technically the slalom followed by the figure of 8. Okay, so I've come to a car park, a pretty empty one. What we need to do, so from this position, this follows directly, this is the first thing you do, or at least it was when I did it in late 2014. You come out of the blocks, so once you've done the manual handling manoeuvre and you place your bike facing forwards or reversing it into the garage, you will need to jump on the bike and he will ask you to do the slalom. Now the slalom, I think the cones, if I remember rightly, are 4.5 meters apart. That's a fair old distance. They're not exactly, it's not really tight or anything like that. And then you've got the figure of 8 at the end of the slalom, which is, I think they're 6 meters apart. And when we do the slalom, the figure of 8, there's no, the 8 can be any size you want it to be. You can be really tight and show off. If you're not comfortable, make it bigger. As long as you kind of keep going through the cones, it's absolutely fine. You don't miss a cone or anything like that on there. So I am going to reposition myself slightly. So I'm facing this way. And I'm just going to have to imagine, so I don't have any dots, can't even use many of the lines on the car park because they're crap as well. But you would, whatever side you're on, so say if we were in a garage right now, and the line of cones are down the middle, so they won't be down here, but they'll be across there. You basically go through the first cone and the second cone. You don't cross to that side before you go through the first cone. We go directly from this side between 1 and 2. I can't remember how many there are, it's like 5 or 6 or something. And you do all these, so it's like another advancement on the slow control that we looked at, which I'll upload first. You've just got to literally maintain that kind of 2, 3, 4 miles an hour whilst going through cones. So I never found that part particularly complicated. The figure of 8 was a bit more so. But yeah, so all we're going to do is obviously the mirrors, shoulder checks, make sure nothing's coming, slowly pull away, and again, so I'm using my imagination a bit. Actually, yeah, it's quite useful to go between them. Just make sure that the slalom part, that you're going through the cone, you're not hitting a cone or missing a cone. So it is a lot of just gently side to side, keep the revs up about 2,000 or 3,000, feather the clutch. If you find the bike's kind of going a bit, you know, if it's leaning over a bit too much, just release the clutch, maybe give the revs a little bit more and it'll just straighten the bike out. If you find it's like you're going that way but the bike's going too far that way, just dab the brake and it will bring it that way. So it's kind of basic physics of the bike. If you're going around a corner, any corner, at any kind of speed, and you touch the brake, the back brake particularly, because you shouldn't really be using the front brake when you go around any corner, it will straighten the bike up. No, it won't. It will bring the bike down. Sorry, yes. So if you're going around the left-hand corner, you're leaning over, and you want the bike to straighten up a bit, kind of go from that angle to that angle, you will accelerate. If you are too far the other way and you want to kind of bring the bike down again, you will touch the brake. Ideally, you won't be doing any of those. You will be going around, you'll choose the speed before you go into the corner and you'll maintain that speed. And as long as you've judged it right, you shouldn't need to do any of that kind of stuff. But when we're doing the slalom, the same principle applies. So if you're going too far over, give it a little bit more acceleration, release the clutch a touch. If you're too far out, touch the brake and it will just bring it in a bit. Obviously, very delicate controls is all you need. So I'm just going to pop down through these kind of parking bay lines, this kind of speed that you need. So I mean, once you've got the speed under control, kind of just tipping the bike from one side to the other, just using your body weight to do the steering really. When you are turning it a little bit, but you're just leaning from one side to the other, that's all you will need to do. Okay, so once you come to the 5th cone in the slalom, you'll notice the cones change colour and suddenly they're blue. Now this means these are the 2 you need to do a figure of 8 on. So I'm trying to find 2 markers on the ground that I can do a figure of 8 on. What about that patch there? And so it's about 6 meters, so it's a fair old distance. And it's possibly a bit far, making it a bit easy for myself, but the yellow ring over there. But I'm gonna, they may be a bit closer or even a bit further. My distance judging isn't the best, but I'm gonna use these. So again, a bit of imagination. I've just finished the slalom and we're just gonna roll this way. So you want to keep your figure of 8 as smooth as you can, using the rear brake to control the speed. Look at, the most important thing is look where you want to go. If you look at a space, the bike will go there. So get the revs up. Now I want to go this way, so I'm looking over that shoulder. My right foot's constantly over the rear brake, just feathering it, dabbing it when I need it to. I think I have made this a bit easy for myself. I'm going to try and go through the ring this time. Well, I've buggered that up. But yeah, just look where you want to go. Keep the figure of 8 as tight as you can, without risking putting the foot down. A foot down's a fail, an overall fail. It shows you've not got enough control over the bike. There are minors on the mod 2, sorry, mod 1. Again, don't be afraid to lean the bike, even though we're going slowly. You're not going to be leaning it a lot, but you're just going to be leaning it enough to keep your balance. So something I did find difficult when I was learning was not understanding, but putting it into practice, the kind of the principles that when you're going around a corner, you're leaning the bike. However, you can't stay like that because the bike will just fall down. So you're leaning like that, and the bike's leaning like that, and you're very slightly like this. So it's basically you're maintaining the balance by your body going over this way. It's a bit of getting used to if you're not a natural, but when we're kind of doing the figure of 8, you're constantly switching it because we're going one side to the other, one side to the other. Once you get the hang of it, it gets a lot easier, and again a lot of it's down to the throttle control and clutch control. Okay, and that is slalom and figure of 8. So like that, and then two figures of 8. You'll do the figure of 8 until he tells you to stop. It's not do 2 and then stop, it's keep going until he says stop. Just bear that in mind.